my name is Hannah Tully, and I will be discussing how sales managers affect us all. Let's first understand what it is that a sales manager does. These positions hold someone in charge of setting sales goals and quotas, building sales plans, analyzing data, and setting sale prices for products within a company. Sales managers are needed worldwide for every company that is providing a good or service for the public. They track what products or merchandise is most popularly bought by consumers at specific locations. Once they gather a basis of information on sales for a company, they project a forecast of what will continue to sell and how much they will profit off of that. This includes reaching numbers and percentages of sales that should be met. Transitioning to our next slide, let's look at what sales managers must do to reach their head position. All are required to have graduated college with a bachelor's degree. The most common degree to possess as a sales manager would be one in marketing, merchandising, or accounting. As their career continues to grow, so do the expectations to be part of it. Many employers are beginning to favor those who have obtained a master's degree rather than a bachelor's, depending on how big the firm is that they are applying for because of their experiences with the studies in this field. Along with an education, 5 years of successful experience as a sales representative, bringing in revenue for a firm is essential to move up as a sales manager. Looking at our next slide, we can begin to get an idea of where sales managers are in comparison to us as consumers in the public. Sales managers work behind the scenes of the shops that we enter every day, whether it be for retail clothing stores, airlines, food services, hotels, or any place that offers a good or service to the public. They are needed for every business worldwide in order to move forward and succeed as a business to make profit. We can find the most sales managers in the states of California, Texas, and Illinois, while the highest average wages for these positions are located in New York, Delaware, and New Jersey. The next slide starts to look from a perspective of how we as the public begin to affect sales managers. The choices that we make as consumers automatically affect a company's sales numbers, whether we decided to purchase a good or service or if we did not purchase it. The more that a product sells within a company, the more that company makes, and the better the sales manager's projected selling numbers look. The results of our choices eventually all come back to the sales managers, for better or worse, who are in charge of forecasting the sale rate of these products. On this next slide, we can look at an example of how we all affect sales managers in ways that we do not normally acknowledge. Let's say you go out shopping for a pair of new brand name sunglasses. You see this pair of Ray-Bans that you want so badly, but at a cost of $200, they seem way too expensive, so you decide not to purchase them anymore. In that moment, your decision to not purchase the sunglasses ends up hurting the sales goal of the Ray-Ban company, which ends up going back to the sales manager to deal with in the end, who had made a plan containing a certain amount of sales, including what yours would have been. Continuing to the next slide with the same example, we can look at the result that low sales has on sales managers. When the selling rate of a product is too low, the specific company is no longer generating in enough revenue to be able to keep that product the same price or continue to be produced. So, the Ray-Bans that are not selling are not allowing the company to profit the way they had originally expected to. Once this is established, the sales manager has to go back and create an alternate price for the product to get it to sell better than before, while still making a profit for the company so that it is not a total loss. Moving to the next slide, we can see how this process has an effect on all of us as consumers. Continuing with the Ray-Ban example, if the public chooses not to purchase enough Ray-Bans to meet the sales manager's plans and quotas, then the sales managers have failed in their projection. This leads to a price alteration for the sunglasses. Now, the price that the sunglasses changes to will be lower than what they originally were, causes them to be more affordable. In all, this affects the public in a positive way, because now those Ray-Bans may be a little more affordable for you after this turn shift. Transitioning to the next slide, we can look at how the process of a sales manager's pricing can have a reverse effect on us, contrary to the positive results. Not only could the low selling rate of a product have a positive effect on us, causing low prices, but it could also turn around on us in a way that may not be in our favor. Let's take a look at high brand fragrances sold at Macy's as a second example. Suppose the sales manager that projected the selling rate and prices of these fragrances is seeing what they are selling fast. This results in the company bringing in the money that they wanted all along. It also keeps the original sale price of those fragrances the same, which is at their highest marked price. The This next slide ties in with the previous slide as a continuation of the situation. We notice how the price that the sales manager conformed for the fragrances is working for the consumers who are purchasing it. As for the portion of the public who could not afford the fragrances from the start, they continue to be affected negatively. The price that the sales manager composed will stay the same as long as the revenue for their sales plan continues to flow in. So, the portion of the public that could not afford the fragrances from the start still cannot afford it. This is how the planning of sales managers can affect each of us and what we buy each day. Our next slide wraps up what we've discussed, as we can note that sales managers rotate in a constant cycle with the public each day to accommodate consumers' needs and wants in a profitable manner. As part of the public, each of our decisions has an impact on them and their plans, whether it be positive or negative. One of their plans could be doing great and retrieving plenty of revenue for the company based on the selling process of its products, or it could be failing by not making enough profit. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we as the public may get to enjoy and afford a good or service depending on the prices that the sales manager forms, or we may have to skip out on something that we want because of their choices.